Hello everyone, great to see you again. In today's class, let's move on to the economic factors in mythology. Chinese mythology comes out of a self-sufficient farming society. Agriculture dominated most of the pre-industrial history in China. In the ancient farming society, life has been closely related to the soil, that is, largely relying on farming. As long as the natural farming laws are abided by, together with the arduous cultivation, one could expect to have basic survival materials. This traditional feudal society is based on collective production in the family units, and thus guarantees the hierarchy and clear division of work. In the meantime, the dependence on the soil and the coordinated relationship between man and nature is reinforced. Based on this condition, ancient Chinese come to develop an integrated cosmology, believing that human and their land form a balanced whole, and any turbulence to that balance can cause disorder and problem. Therefore, there is no surprise that the ancient Chinese would look to the gods to help them correct the error in this system and take the balance between human and the environment back again. Agriculture is an important theme in Chinese mythology. A large number of myths are related to agriculture in terms of how early Chinese learned the use of fire, cooking, animal husbandry, and the use of draft animals, and inventions of various agricultural tools and implements. There are many mythical stories about the deities and cultural heroes related to agriculture, such as Shen Nong and Houtu. There are said to be other deities or supernatural beings in charge of bringing rain, drought, and various cyclical phenomena such as day and night or the various seasons in their proper order, which are considered of vital importance to a successful farming. Generally, the basic farming tools and agricultural development were sent as a gift from God to help the mortals survive on this earthly land. Shen Nong literally means God farmer or God peasant, is one of the most well-known and most respected deities in Chinese mythology. He is thought to have taught the ancient Chinese how to practice agriculture, how to use herbal drugs, and application of plant-based medicine, and acupuncture, all of which are the beginning of traditional Chinese medicine. Also, Shen Nong is credited with the invention of the hoe, plow, axe, dug wells, irrigation, preserving stored seeds, the farmer's market, and the Chinese calendar. Shen Nong is said to have ox-headed, sharp-horned, bronze-foreheaded, and iron-skulled. His image was linked with a bull-headed being, probably because of the connection between agrarian life and the water buffalo, which is used in virtually all farming activities in China, especially through marshy rice fields. Chinese have special gratitude to Shen Nong due to this contribution to Chinese agriculture and medicine. And even his death was a result of his experiment of various herbal plants on his own body. Thus, he was also worshipped as medicine king, Jiao Wang. Many temples and rituals are dedicated to his commemoration exit. In ancient Chinese society, the gods represent and are supposed to be in accord with nature. Hence, The ancient Chinese mythology is inclined to delineate the benefit and grace mankind has gained from the deities and their submission to their destiny as well. Now, let's move on to the economic facts behind the rise of Greek mythology. The ancient Greeks described their own soil as being stingy, which explains the Greeks' low expectation from what their land could produce. They are known to have described their land by saying, "The gods threw down a pile of rocks." The ancient Greeks didn't have fertile land, so they didn't get much out of the land. But they did have something else. They developed a remarkable ability to take what they could get from the land and trade for what they need from other parts of the world, which became one of the key components of its economy. Trade prompted Greeks to sell to the outside world. Since very early time, many Greeks were sailors, even as far back as the Stone Age. The Greeks sailed all over the Eastern Mediterranean. They were known for being adept at building different shapes for different kinds of sailing, such as warships, trading ships, and fishing boats. Since the 6th century BC, trade, craftsmanship, and maritime commerce has become the key part of Greek economic output. Thus, the ancient Greeks were praised to be the original economists. They believed in good strife, out of which competition were encouraged, so that the best craftsmen emerged. By traveling by sea to other lands, they were able to open their horizon, establish colonies, and not only survive, but also thrive. Maritime craftsmanship and power also helps Greeks to spread its influence of culture, especially mythological ideas, through this sea trade to other cultures. The temples and sculptures conveying mythological and religious messages were taken to other parts of the world. The Greek civilization has come to develop into one of the most influential ones in the world. And when the ancient Greeks were busy fulfilling their ambition to explore the bigger world and keeping their business with the other cultures, they experienced complete individual freedom in face of the unpredictable power and absolute authority of the sea. The natural outcome of these ocean experiences are the fear of the nature and, contradictorily, the unwillingness to surrender. Moreover, in challenging the unknown world, ancient Greeks have developed a scientific tradition of being very observant and experimental. They endeavored to explore the law of nature in order to eventually master and defeat it. The god of Greek mythology in charge of trade, in particular, is Hermes, one of the 12 Olympian gods, and he's also god of thieves, travelers, sports, athletes, and border crossing, guide to the underworld. As a god of boundaries and transitions, Hermes was known to be quick and cunning and had the ability to freely move between the mortals and divine worlds. Hermes was portrayed by both Homer and Hesiod as the author of skilled or deceptive acts, and also as a benefactor of mortals. Now let's review what's important in today's class. Question 1. What economic and social factor most helps to shape Chinese mythology? Chinese mythology was formed and molded in a self-sufficient agrarian society. Hence, values coordination between man and nature. which is reflected in the relationship between deities and men. Agriculture is an important theme in Chinese mythology, so there are many mythical stories about the deities and cultural heroes related to agriculture. The ancient Chinese mythology is inclined to delineate the benefit and grace mankind has gained from the deities, and their submission to their deities as well. 2. What are the economic factors that contribute to the Greek mythology? The ancient Greeks didn't have fertile lands, so they didn't get much out of the land. Instead, they developed a remarkable ability to sell and trade. When the ancient Greeks were busy fulfilling their ambition to explore the bigger world and keeping their business with the other cultures, they have developed a scientific tradition of being very observant and experimental, which are reflected in their myths. Also, their mythical tales are full of how they endeavored to explore the law of nature in order to eventually master and defeat it.